What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about a new promo pack that's gonna been spotted over in Japan. We'll get it at some point. We're gonna get these cards. We always get these cards. But right now, we've got ourselves a rather lovely new promo pack, so this is probably the kind of thing we should be having a little bit of a look at. We're talking about Standard Battle Pack Volume 11, and it's being given out at Standard Battles over in Japan. Right now, they're finishing up with Standard Battle Pack 10. That is the one where you can get yourself the Full Art Rebecca if you win the lottery to win a commemorative prize. But right now, we're moving on to Pack 11, and this one's bringing us Roronoa Zoro. It's not a new Roronoa Zoro. None of these cards are new, incidentally. They are all alternate arts, but they're also pretty gosh darn cool. So the Zoro, of course, we've got the regular version of it. It's awkward, because on the one hand, it's a regular version from the pack, right? And on the other hand, it's not really a regular version, it's an alternate art version. But it's a regular version in terms of the pack. And then we got ourselves a winner's version, which is a very similar kind of thing. Same card, same basic artwork, but they take off the regular background and they give you a map, which is green. And we know this, it might be green, I'm colorblind. Looks green to me. And look, it's One Piece, they use maps, alright? The general, standard, ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill, generic background for One Piece is maps. I have no problem with this, because it's a pirate manga. I'm okay with using all the maps. So the Roronoa Zoro, then, we are talking about the one that came around in EB02. So we've had it in Japan, but this is not a card that's actually made its way out in the West yet. So at some point, obviously, this card will get an English release. We just don't know when. And it's actually a pretty decent card. It says that if your opponent has got 2 or more characters, then this character can attack characters on the turn it's played. Very important. We've seen this a bunch. This isn't Rush. It looks a lot like Rush, and in some ways it will function exactly the same as Rush, but it is Rush where you want to attack characters. If instead you want to be going and attacking the leader and trying to take life and all of that, it doesn't work, and in that way it actually doesn't have Rush. So I'm going to let you figure out the terminology. We've seen a bunch of these cards recently that let you attack characters on the turn that they're played. This is another one of them, but we've got a 4-cost green Straw Hat, so yeah, feels like it's going to see some play. Also, as a side note, remember, it's only if your opponent has 2 or more characters. You cannot use this to attack the only character they have. But then we've also got a play skill whereby if your leader is Straw Hat Pirates, then you get to rest a 4-cost or lower when you play it. I like this. In theory, you get to play this, rest a character, and then attack a character the turn you're played. And yes, obviously, you could mash these 2 skills together, whereby you play this, oh, there's a 4-cost or less I really want to be taken out here, so that's what you do. You play this, you rest that character, and then you immediately attack it because it's rested and now you're allowed, and you've just taken out a character that your opponent really wanted to keep in play. As an example. Sounds like it could be kind of fun. I mean, there's a million different uses. Obviously, Black Maria. It's a classic Black Maria counter. Play this, rest Black Maria, and then attack straight away. Because, of course, Black Maria sits there getting extra Don, but never gets rested. And if it never gets rested, then you're never allowed to attack it. This will work rather nicely. So we got ourselves Roronoa Zoro, including the winner's version. What else do we have? Well, speaking of OP08, we have the Charlotte Katakuri from OP08. Both the cards I've shown you so far, by the way, don't actually have alternate art versions, so it's nice that we get one here. Although there was obviously a second Charlotte Katakuri in OP08, but we are talking about the 2-cost here rather than the 6-cost. And for what it's worth, I really, really like Basai's artwork in the One Piece TCG. And the 2-cost had Basai artwork, so yeah. But we've got an activate main that lets you trash this character. And then if your leader is Big Mum Pirates, then you can play a 3-cost or higher Charlotte Katakuri as long as it's also equal to or less than the number of Don cards on your opponent's field. So really, it's a Charlotte Katakuri from your hand with a cost of between 3 and whatever the amount of Don on your opponent's field is. The wording is awkward here, frankly. Sorry about that. But the point is, this is still awesome. You play your 2-cost Katakuri, leave it sitting there, and then switch it into a bigger Katakuri. Something like, well, the 6-cost from OP08. Or, if you want to get really fancy, we do have a couple of really good Katakuri. Obviously, we got the one from Starter Deck 7, the one that's got Rush, which is pretty gosh darn good. But even that's not the best Charlotte Katakuri. The best Charlotte Katakuri is a secret rare from OP03. So, wait till your opponent's got 8 Don on the field, and then play your 2-cost, trash it, and then play your secret rare 8-cost. I'm just saying that sounds like a fun thing to do. And Charlotte Katakuri is very good. We know there's more Katakuri coming, so yeah. And actually, there is a Charlotte Katakuri on the booster pack of OP11, which we found out now it's not one of the secret rares from the set. So there's at least one more Katakuri coming, and we know there's going to be a bunch more because one of the most popular villains from One Piece. So I'm just saying, this is one to keep an eye out for. We've got ourselves the Jinbe also from EB02. So 2 characters here that are getting alternate arts when we haven't even had the initial release in English. Obviously, we're going to have to wait a bit for these promos. Japan's had EB02. They can have the promos, jobs are good, and at some point we'll get EB02, we'll get these promos afterwards, and life will be good. How much do we care about the Jinbe? Worth noting it is, again, a character that never had an alternate art first time round, so it's nice they get one here. We got counter plus 2k. Counter plus 2k is good. That's a rather handy bonus. What else do we have? Well, no regular skills, but we got a trigger whereby if your leader is either Fishman or Mermaid and you have 2 or less life, play this card. That seems good to me. That seems like a fun card. You get to play it for free on the proviso that you've got the right leader. And frankly, if you don't have you're never playing this unless you've got a Fishman or Mermaid leader. That's never going to happen. This is a card that will only exist in those decks, so it really doesn't matter. That's going to be a given. Essentially, it just locks this card out, or I suppose in, to particular decks. That's fine. You do have to have 2 or less life. That will be a little bit annoying. There will be times in the game where Jinbe comes out as like your first or second life. But remember, we've seen the ruling about this. When you take the life, if your life is Jinbe, that is when you look at your life. So if you've got 3 life remaining, your opponent takes the life and that life is Jinbe, you don't not get to play it because you had 3 life. You take Jinbe, read the trigger, look at the life, oh, there's only 2, I can play it. Counter plus 2k, played for free, most but not all the time. Yeah, I'll take that. And then the last one we've got here is the Sengoku from Starter Deck 19 with a very dramatic alternate art. I don't know why the art is so dramatic here, but apparently there's probably a reason. This was, of course, from the Smoker deck, and I'm not loving the artwork we had first time round. It's fine. This one is also fine. Maybe I just don't love Sengoku. Maybe that's the reason. Either way, 1 cost, 1,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and on play, you can trash 2 Navy cards from your hand, and if your leader is Navy, you draw 3. Annoying here. Remember, you have to do anything that's in bold before a colon. You have to do to activate the skill. And one of the annoying things for me here about Sengoku is you basically have to trash the cards from your hand now and then draw 3 cards. It's always better to draw and then trash because you might draw cards you'd rather trash and then you can get rid of them anyway. There is a chance here you trash 2 Navy cards looking for something. You don't get what you want, and you actually end up with a worse hand than you had before. That will be super annoying. But it's another one of those, you can't win them all, unfortunately. Decent draw in Navy decks, and they've seemed to have done what they usually do here. I love the mix of cards. What they're essentially doing is giving us cards that are good but not great, potential but not absolute staples, and cards that didn't have an alternate art first time round, just to make things a little bit more fun. And I, for one, very much appreciate this. There'll be tournament promos for us at some point, so for now, I want to know what you think about them. I want to know if you prefer the artwork. I want to know what you think about the playability. I want to know, frankly, anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would ya get us? Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.